Before the sun rises over May's quiet mornings, there is a deeper light waiting to awaken within you, a power more ancient than time and closer than breath. This is not merely a prayer you recite. It is a sacred doorway you enter. You do not need to plead for blessings from some distant source. The breakthrough you seek is already alive within you, waiting for recognition. For every true prayer is not a cry for help, but an act of assumption, a bold step into the reality where your desire is already fulfilled. Today and every day, we return to this truth. You are the operant power. You are the vessel, the voice, and the fulfillment. This is not passive hoping. This is creative knowing. Let us begin, not by asking, but by becoming. The blessing is not coming, it is here. The breakthrough is not waiting, it is now. Imagination is the womb of blessing. There is a sacred place within you. A hidden chamber, not made by hands, not built with stone or seen with fleshly eyes. It is the place where all creation begins, your imagination. This is the true womb of blessing, the divine altar where the unseen is made visible, where the intangible becomes flesh. Until you understand this, you will continue to seek blessings from the outside, never realizing that all breakthroughs are born from within. Every circumstance in your life, whether called good or bad, originated first as a seed in the field of imagination. You may not have planted it consciously. Many live unaware that their thoughts, moods, assumptions, and repeated inner conversations are the very cause of their outer world. But once you awaken to this truth, you cannot go back. You begin to see that life does not happen to you, it flows through you, shaped by your inner world. To pray for a blessing is to enter this inner world and plant the seed of your desire in the soil of belief. You are not waiting on a miracle to descend from the clouds. You are giving form and substance to that miracle by how you think, how you feel, and what you imagine to be true. This is why it is said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Thought is not idle. Imagination is not daydreaming. Imagination is the creative act of God within you. Let us bring this closer. Suppose you desire financial breakthrough. You may be tempted to look at your bank account, speak words of worry, and ask repeatedly for change. But this is not prayer. This is bondage to appearances. Real prayer begins when you close your eyes to what is and open your heart to what could be. You imagine yourself already living in abundance. You see the bills paid, the peace on your face, the relief in your chest. You imagine walking into a room full of opportunities, hearing the voice on the other end of the phone offering you favor. This is not fantasy. This is fertilizing the womb. When the image becomes real to you, when it feels alive, when your heart moves and your breath shifts, you have begun to create. This is the beginning of breakthrough. The blessing may not appear the next hour or day, but the seed has been planted. And seeds by law bring forth after their kind. You need not beg for the harvest. You need only keep the soil fertile with belief and thanksgiving. The tragedy of most people's prayers is that they continue to plead with God while denying the very gift he gave them, the power to imagine and create. They say the words, but in their hearts they still see lack. They give thanks with their lips, but their minds replay fear. And so the womb is closed. The blessing cannot grow in a divided soil. May is a time of blooming, of breaking ground, of hidden seeds pushing upward toward the light. Let your imagination mirror the season. Let it become active, fertile, and alive. Do not wait for the world to give you a sign. You are the sign. You are the cause of the blessing you seek. This is why it has been said, the kingdom of God is within you. The throne of creation is not somewhere in the clouds. It is the seat of imagination in your mind. Sit there daily. Rule there faithfully. Imagine boldly. And let no fear, no past failure, and no outside opinion dethrone you. You must come to see imagination not as escape, but as command. When you imagine with feeling, you are not pretending, you are proclaiming. And what you proclaim in secret will be shouted from the rooftops of your life. And as you speak this May prayer daily, do not merely say the words. Enter into them. Visualize the blessing as already yours. Speak with the confidence of someone who has already received. Picture the doors opening. Hear the joyful news. Smell the fragrance of freedom. Taste the sweetness of answered prayer. Let the senses be engaged. Let the heart rejoice. And let the imagination give birth. Or when you understand this truth, you will no longer ask, when will my blessing come? You will know that it already has. It was born in the sacred place within you, and all that remains is for the world to catch up. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to claim your blessing before it appears. It is to walk as though your prayer has already been answered. This is not self-deception. It is spiritual law. Nothing manifests without first being accepted inwardly as true. The moment you take the feeling of your desired state as your own, you set the process of manifestation into motion. Many speak their desires but live in contradiction. They say they believe in abundance, yet worry clings to their every thought. They say they are healed, yet continue to identify with illness. They long for love, but see themselves as unworthy. These are not prayers of faith, but confessions of doubt. The blessing cannot enter where it is not believed to already exist. Assumption is not wishing. Wishing keeps your desire at a distance, always just out of reach. But assumption pulls it into the now. It is the bold act of mentally and emotionally wearing your desired outcome like a garment. You put it on in consciousness, you feel it in your body, you respond to life as if it were already so. In doing this, you do not force the blessing, you become it. Let's say you are praying for a new opportunity, a job, a door to open, a promotion. You could wait for the email or phone call. You could rehearse worst-case scenarios, or you could assume the feeling of already being chosen. Feel what it would be like to hear, "You're exactly what we were looking for." Picture yourself walking into your new position, confident, purposeful, grateful. When you embody that inner experience, the outer must eventually reflect it. Is this, Lord, everything in your life today is a result of what you once assumed to be true. Whether consciously or unconsciously, your feelings created your reality. So if you desire a new outcome, you must first adopt a new feeling. What would it feel like to already be blessed, to have the breakthrough? Let that be your prayer. Not words, but assumption. This may make it your practice to pause each day and enter the end. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and mentally experience the result you long for. Do not merely think about it, feel it. Let it move you. Let your heartbeat shift. Let your smile rise. Let your body respond. This is not acting, it is aligning. And when you rise from that moment of prayer, carry that feeling with you. Let it shape your words, your posture, your expectations. Others may not see it yet, but you will know. The blessing is already yours. You have assumed the state, and therefore the outer world must bend to match it. Live from the end, not toward it. For the one who assumes the wish fulfilled does not wonder if it will happen. They rest in the knowing that it already has. Consciousness is the only reality. There is no power outside of you that shapes your world. No fate, no chance, no external force has more authority over your life than your own state of consciousness. Consciousness is the only reality. It is not one part of life, it is the source of all life. Whatever you are conscious of being, you become. Whatever you are conscious of expecting, you attract. Whatever you dwell upon inwardly, you will meet outwardly. This truth, Alma, is both liberating and sobering. It liberates you because it means nothing and no one outside of you needs to change for your life to change. It sobers you because it means you are always responsible. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the cause. Every condition of blessing or burden began in consciousness. The world you see is nothing more than a mirror, faithfully reflecting your inner states. When you understand this, you no longer wrestle with appearances. You stop reacting and begin selecting. You cease being pushed around by the visible and begin governing from the invisible. You step into your role as creator, not just creature. Many wait for their circumstances to change so they can finally feel peace, joy, or freedom. But this is not how the law of consciousness works. You must feel the state before it appears. You must first be the thing you wish to see. You cannot create outside of what you are aware of being. To change your world, change what you are conscious of being. If you desire a breakthrough, do not look to conditions, look to consciousness. Ask yourself, what am I aware of being right now? Am I aware of being blessed, or am I dwelling in lack? Am I conscious of healing, or am I absorbed in fear? Am I imagining success or rehearsing defeat? The answers to these questions will tell you what is being formed beneath the surface of your life. Oh Lord, it's simple. What you are conscious of, you express. If you persist in the awareness of blessing, breakthrough must follow. It may not come in the way your rational mind expects, but it will come. Because consciousness is never barren. It always produces after its kind. This is why daily prayer is not about changing God. It is about changing your state. When you pray, you are not informing the divine of your needs. You are realigning with your true nature, abundant, free, whole, and powerful. You are not asking for the blessing to come from elsewhere. You are awakening to the truth that it is already yours in consciousness. So, in this sacred month of May, treat your inner state as holy ground. Guard it, cultivate it. When doubts arise, gently return to the truth. I am conscious of my breakthrough. Not I hope for it, but I know it, I feel it, I am it. The outer world will echo your conviction. And when you live with this awareness, you walk not as one seeking the blessing, but as one revealing it. Prayer is inner. Most have been taught that prayer is a petition, a request sent to some far-off deity in hopes of approval. But true prayer is far more profound. It is not an act of asking. It is a process of re-identifying with who you truly are. Prayer is not begging for what you are not. It is becoming aware of what you already are. When you pray, you are not attempting to change God's mind. You are changing your own perception. You are not drawing something to you. You are aligning with it, embodying it, and claiming it as your identity. That is why all true prayer is answered. Not because you persuaded something outside of you to move on your behalf, but because you shifted your inner being into alignment with the state of the thing desired. Every breakthrough begins with identity. If you pray for healing but still identify as the sick one, your prayer will be hollow. If you pray for abundance while inwardly clinging to the belief, I never have enough, the outer world cannot contradict your dominant self-emotion. You must first re-identify. You must dare to see yourself as already possessing the blessing and then make that your dwelling place. This is the essence of prayer. Take a moment and consider, who are you in your imagination? What version of you prays this May prayer every morning? Is it the version of you who still wonders if it will happen? Or is it the version of you who knows the blessing is already unfolding, who walks and speaks from that place of certainty? Your world always follows the self you most consistently assume. Prayer, then, is not words. It is embodiment. It is claiming a new name, a new role, a new state. It is walking out of the old identity, one built on fear, struggle, lack, and stepping into the spiritual truth of your being, whole, worthy, and already complete. You are not climbing a mountain to reach the blessing. You are removing the veil that made you forget it was always yours. This is why the great spiritual teachers have always emphasized faith, not effort. Faith is the evidence of things not seen, the deep inner knowing that the state you have assumed is real, despite what appearances may suggest. The world may not yet reflect the change, but prayer has already moved the cause. As you remain faithful to the new identification, the effects must follow. Let's say you are praying for restoration in a broken relationship. You could beg for change, you could rehearse the hurt, or you could enter into the state of already being at peace. You could identify yourself not as the wounded one, but as the healed, the whole, the loving. You could feel the joy of reconciliation, even if you've seen no outward sign of it yet. That feeling, when sincerely embraced, becomes the prayer. And the prayer becomes the bridge to the outer change. Do not underestimate the creative power of this re-identification. When you assume a new state of being, the world around you responds with divine orchestration. People show up, doors open, circumstances rearrange. But none of it begins until you move first, inwardly. This is the discipline of true prayer. So start with knowledge, say, and make it of 700 words in paragraphs. ChatGPT said, certainly. Here is topic 5, expanded into approximately 700 words, concluding the series with depth and clarity in the same Neville Goddard-inspired style. 5. Live in the end, not the question. The greatest shift in prayer, the most powerful leap you can make, is this: to live in the end, not the question. Most people pray from a place of uncertainty. Their thoughts echo with questions. When will it come? Will it happen? Am I worthy? What if it doesn't work? But these are not prayers of faith. They are declarations of doubt. And where doubt governs, delay follows. To live in the end means to abandon the question entirely and dwell in the answer. You no longer wonder if the blessing is coming. You know that it already has. You no longer reach out toward the breakthrough. You stand within it, even before the world gives you the evidence. You live, move, and think from the state of the wish fulfilled. This is not blind optimism. It is spiritual law. Every event in your life is a bridge of incidents that leads from your current state to your assumed end. If you live in the end, those events are set in motion, even if you cannot see them yet. But if you live in the question, in the uncertainty, you stall the movement. You hold your own blessing in limbo. What does it mean practically to live in the end? It means that when you pray, you do not ask for the thing as if it were absent. You give thanks from the place where it already exists. You begin to take actions, make decisions, and carry yourself as one who is already in possession of the answer. You live as though your prayer has been answered, not as though it's pending approval. For example, if you are praying for a financial breakthrough, you begin to let go of the energy of desperation. You release the fear of lack. You stop constantly checking for signs, and instead you rest in the inner knowing. It is done. You carry the peace and confidence of someone who knows provision is already flowing. You budget, plan, give, and live as one who is not begging for change, but managing abundance. You are praying for healing. You speak, move, and think from wholeness, even if your body has not yet changed. You do not identify with the sickness. You do not repeat the diagnosis as your truth. You live in the end. You speak life, see yourself restored, and feel gratitude for the healing already completed in the unseen. The moment you truly dwell in the end, your energy changes, your speech softens, your faith deepens, anxiety fades. You are no longer reaching, you are resting. You are no longer knocking, you are dwelling. This is not passivity. It is the highest form of creative alignment. You have assumed your place as the one who is, not the one who hopes to be. The reason many feel exhausted in their prayers is because they are looping through the same question day after day. They believe that repetition equals power. But if what is being repeated is doubt, the result is more of the same. To live in the end is to stop repeating the request and start embodying the result. This is the secret of sustained prayer. You do not need to cry out again and again. You only need to enter the state and remain there. When doubts arise, and they will, you gently return to the end. You re-enter the scene. You hear the words you long to hear. You see the evidence you long to see. You feel the peace of it already being so. That is your inner sanctuary. Return to it as often as needed. Living in the end is not about pretending. It is about choosing. Every day you are choosing which version of you will be loyal to, the one still waiting or the one already fulfilled. Your reality will always follow your loyalty. So in this month of May, this season of renewal, growth, and promise, commit to living in the end. When you speak your May prayer, do so as one who has already received. When you walk through your day, do so as one who is already living the answered life. You are not trying to convince the universe. You are simply taking your rightful seat as co-creator. You are no longer the beggar at the door. You are the heir inside the house. Dwell in the end, speak from the end, feel from the end, and the world, obedient to the law of consciousness, will bring the outer evidence to match your inner conviction. Would you like me to now compile the entire 5-part series into one polished document or speech format?